Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. How's everyone doing today? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. 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 How's everyone doing today? We're going to get started in a little bit. Now, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. If you have any questions throughout this presentation, you guys can put it in the comments. Now, I may not get to it right away, but I will come back and answer your questions. All right. Just gonna get some water and we'll get this thing kicked off. All right, here we go. Today we're going to talk about your wish is your command. Now, this is a CD set that was produced many years ago. Very hard to find. I'm going to share with you guys how you can get this program completely for free. What you want to do, you want to use any of my videos down here in the descriptions. You can click on that first link. Clicking on that first link will get you on this landing page with a sales page. If you do not want to read through all of it, it's perfectly fine. You can just tap buy now. From here, you want to scroll down a little bit. There's a section where you can enter the coupon code. The coupon code is YWIYC. You want to use that and hit apply. Once you hit apply, you can see the discount code has been applied and you're going to save $500. You want to scroll back on the top, fill out your contact, billing, and payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. They just want to find people who are actually serious about this program. You're going to check your email a little bit. If it's not in your inbox, you want to go to your spam folder. You want to drag that email back into your inbox. Tap on that email. There's going to be a link inside that email, and you're going to get access to this program, the 14 audio series, Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires. Now, what is this program all about? If you are interested in the law of manifestation, if you follow people like Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Joe Vitale, Tony Robbins, Earl Nightingale, Joe Dispenza, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Charlie Tremendous Jones, Cadet Robert, Ed Foreman, Joe Bauer, Grant Cardone, Dennis Whaley, Marshall Silver, Neville Goddard, this is definitely up your alley. Today I'm going to share with you the specific lessons that I learned from Your Wish is Your Command. My name is John. I listened to this program a couple years ago, and I've been applying it every single year. Every year I re-listen to this audio CD, and I continue to deepen my understanding of these specific lessons. Now, there are 4 major lessons in this CD set. I'm going to go through them one by one before I dive in deeper into what they're all about. The first one is, who do you listen to? Second lesson is the Teachability Index. Third lesson is the Training Balance Scale. And finally, the 4th lesson is 4 steps to mastery, the 4 steps to learning anything. Now, I'm just providing the broad strokes today. I'm not going to get into the specific details. This is the reason why you guys got to get the program yourself and listen to it and listen to it multiple times. You're not going to get through it all in one go. Today, I'm just providing the broad strokes. The very first lesson Kevin Trudeau talks about is, who do you listen to? Who do you listen to? According to Kevin, he says, you need to listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Many of these lessons, you may think, this sounds so simple. Listen, many of these lessons, it takes about 5 minutes to learn. but a lifetime to master. There are two components to this. Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. The two parts to this. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. For most of my life, I've been trained to listen to all the wrong people. Let me give you an example. There was a time I was weight loss rebounding. What that means is I would work hard at the gym, I would calorie count, fitness pal, lose 2 pounds, gain it all back, and then some. Maybe you're in that situation right now. Maybe you're struggling with weight loss rebound. Now, the only thing that I knew back then was you need to go to the gym, get yourself a personal trainer. I was living in San Diego, California at the time, Southern California. And downtown, there was a Horn Plaza. Inside the Horn Plaza, there was a 24-hour fitness. I went there, and you go to these 24-hour fitness, trainer's going to be pulling up, trying to become your personal trainer. You're going to say, hey, we're going to get your exercises right, You're going to do more reps, you're going to do more sets at the gym. The problem that I had with this specific gym was that the trainers there, they were out of shape themselves. It doesn't make any sense, but it happens. You go to these gyms, they pull up, and they're in even worse shape than you are. But they're the ones with the certificates. They're the ones with the training. Do they have the results that you want? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. I want you guys to evaluate who are you listening to right now, and they really take you to the promised land. There was a time I had a lot of problems with my own personal health. Only thing that I knew was we got to take some medications, and that's what I did. But things just got progressively worse. Have you been there yourself? A couple months ago, I took my family relative to the hospital. We were at the ER. And when you're at the ER, they're going to pull up and tell you, listen, we're going to run some blood tests, take your vitals. It's going to be your heart rate, respiratory rate. They're going to take your blood pressure, going to test your blood sugar. What else are they going to do? Going to send you down to the ECG, EKG, electrocardiogram, going to get your x-ray, and they're going to come back and tell you, or going to evaluate your reports and tell you the next steps you're going to be doing. They're going to come back and say, well, these values right here, within range, out of range, out of range, within range, out of range, within range. And they're going to upsell you to the next set of procedures, operations, make you have to stay overnight at the hospital. None of this professional medical advice, diagnosis, and treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician, other qualified health providers with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. I'm just going to tell y'all, many of those doctors that pulled up, they were not even in shape themselves. They're going to critique all your blood work, tell you where it's wrong, okay? They're going to be very, very concerned looking at your ECG, telling you where it's wrong. We need to have the presence of mind and tell your doctors, listen, doc, it is time to take a quick look at your vitals. Where's your blood pressure at? It is time to look at your blood sugar, doc. Many of these doctors, not only are they overweight, they're suffering chronic diseases themselves. And that is the sad state of modern medicine. They can't even fix the problems, but they're going to tell you to do X, Y, and Z. And many of these doctors, they're out of shape themselves. So maybe you got to tell them, hey, doc, why don't you get up on that scale? We're going to measure your weight and we're going to measure your height. And from these two numbers, we're going to get your BMI, your body mass index. It doesn't make any sense if your doctor's got a BMI over 30, trying to do this, that, and the third. Now, if it's an acute injury, okay, somebody got into a trauma injury, motorcycle accident, car accident, yes, that doctor can fix you up. But if you take a nice tour at your local ICU, you'll find many people there, they're not there because they got into a car accident. It's all chronic diseases. It's multiple organ failures, liver failures, kidney failures, this and that and the third, okay? I'm just saying this, who are you listening to right now? You got to listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. So when I went down on this path of personal development, it was to better my own personal health, because the way that I was doing wasn't working. What did I have to do? I started reading books on naturopathic ways. I started reading books on herbal remedies, holistic doctors. And what I found is many of these people that are doing all natural ways or natural remedies, they're not a whole bunch of, they don't have all these ups and downs with their health. They're just steady throughout the whole year and their health continues to improve. They're not struggling with a whole bunch of these chronic diseases. I start to find these type of people on YouTube and start to find different authors. And that's how you're going to begin evaluating who you listen to right now. Specifically in the areas of your health. And you want to look at who you're subscribed to right now on YouTube. Can these people really take you to where you want to be? Selecting a personal trainer or somebody that can help with your own personal health, it's a delicate process because number one, they gotta been where you've been at, right? Let's just say somebody in your 40s, you're a lady, you had a couple of kids, your body's been through a lot over the years. Not just having kids, but also hormonal ups and downs, imbalances, thyroid. It doesn't make any sense for you to go to a 21-year-old and expect that 21-year-old to know what to do about your personal health. Because that 21-year-old, all they know is you got to do calorie counting and you got to come back to the gym, do more reps, do more sets. Listen, they don't understand where you've been. You got to find people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Maybe a personal coach, maybe a trainer, maybe somebody in holistic health, a little bit older than you are. They understand what you've been struggling with this whole time. And they had a lot of weight loss rebound, and they had a flu retention, and they know how to address all these different things. That's somebody you should be listening to, not a 21-year-old kid, because they don't have the information on their radar screen that can really help you. Now, through this presentation, I just want you guys to know you can ask me questions. So I'm going to, and let me know where you guys are from. You know, what's up? So that's first lesson in your Wish is Your Command. Once again, this is a CD set you can get for completely free. You want to just use my link in the descriptions. Just click on it once, take it to a sales page from here. If you don't want to read through all of it, no big deal. Just tap buy now. Tap and buy now. You can go to this coupon area and type in the coupon code. It's YWIYC. You don't have to use all caps. You can use all lowercase, whatever you want. You're going to come back on the top. Once you put it in and apply, you can see you're saving $500. From here, you want to come back on the top, fill out your contact, billing, and payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. They just want to find people who are actually serious about this program. Once you tap complete my order, check your email a little bit. If it's not in your inbox, then check your spam folder. Drag that email back into your inbox. Tap on the email and there's going to be a link that will take you directly into the audio set. You can download this on your computer. You can stream it from your phone. So any single time, you're driving, waiting in traffic, we are folding laundry, doing any activity, you can listen to this CD set. And as I listen to it again and again, it starts to rewire my decision making, rewire my day-to-day decisions when I'm being approached by all these different offers. Because you're going to be approached by a whole bunch of offers all day, every day. You have to evaluate, can these people help me? Or are they just promoting something, randomly? Have they really demonstrated that success? Just to share a little bit of myself, a small part of what I do, I teach people about health, right? Because I struggled with my health in the past. This is me down in San Diego. Told y'all I was weight loss rebounding and I was putting on those jeans. We were going out to have a drink at the local bar. And I remember trying to put on these jeans. They were so tight. I was like, what's going on? I just bought these jeans maybe last year. And even the shirt that I bought from before, they were extremely, you can see all these buttons, they were screaming at me. Okay? This is me now, pretty much all year round, right? I found so many things off my radar screen. It's no longer just going to the gym and eating right. There's a lot more. This is the Mega Poop Transformation Challenge where I teach people how to lose 3 to 5 pounds per month without going to the gym. Many of y'all, you just gotta go for walks, okay? And many people out there, they're severely overweight. They need to just be in a swimming pool so they can reduce that impact on their joints for their exercise. Well, this program is about cleaning out the small and large intestines comprehensively. I teach people, listen, if you want to achieve six-pack abs, why don't we first begin eliminating the waste material that's currently sitting there in your body? If you've been chronically constipated, there may be pounds and pounds of fecal matter encrusted inside your colon. Why don't we learn to get rid of that waste material out? Moreover, a lot of people don't even know about internal parasites. They may be plagued with internal parasites. And that's another thing that I address. Of course, this is not professional medical advice, diagnosis or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician, other qualified health providers, any questions they may have regarding a medical condition. I'll come back to more of that information later, but I'm going to put the links in the comment section and feel free to ask me questions throughout this presentation. The second lesson we're going to talk about in Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command is the Teachability Index. The Teachability Index. The Teachability Index, you can also call a Coachability Index. How teachable are you? Many people say, I'm very teachable. How do you quantify something like that? I'm going to share with you how. Because it's very objective. What I love about Kevin Trudeau's program, he talks about the law of manifestation, and this is the way how rich people coach their kids. It's not just about getting more crystals, getting another birth chart reading, astrological chart, or just feel good or doing more journaling. You can quantify if you're teachable. Number one, what is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn? Okay, I'm going to share with you how you can quantify that. You got to give yourself a score from 0 to 10. Give yourself a score from 0 to 10. Next part is, what is your willingness to accept change? Also giving yourself a score from 0 to 10. Later on, you're going to multiply these numbers together. How do you know if you have a willingness to learn? It seems very vague, right? Well, Kevin teaches you how you can make that extremely clear. What is your willingness to learn? What is your favorite activity right now? What is your favorite activity? Most people, when they go back home, they want to watch their favorite TV shows. They're turning on Netflix. It could be Hulu, Amazon Prime Videos, could be video games, could be basketball, could be fantasy football, could be drinking out with the boys, going to the clubs on the weekends. Those are their favorite activities that they look forward to. Are you willing to set aside that time where you do your favorite activity and you're actually using that time to learn something useful that can up your skills? You can be reading, you could be listening to an audio course, or you're taking courses online or offline, attending conferences. You're doing something, setting aside your favorite activity and doing something useful that can better your skills. Give yourself a score from 0 to 10. Okay? Let's just say there are 30 days out of the month. And then 10 of those days, you're setting aside that time and you're dedicating it to some personal development courses. You're listening to that audio, you're reading that book, attending conferences, either online or in person, right? So 10 out of 30, 30%, right? Why 33%? So you can give yourself a score 3 out of 10. That's your willingness to learn, 3 out of 10. The next part is, what is your willingness to accept change? Many people, they're conference warriors. They're they love to learn. Learning is their addiction. They may be buying the P90X program. They're buying Taibo. They're on QVC. They're getting all information, how they can better their health. They bought the Peloton, but they don't do anything with it. They don't exercise. We got Tony Horn, he's up there on the DVDs, doing the exercises, but they're out there eating potato chips. Their willingness to accept change is 0. Most people, they don't have that willingness to accept change. Maybe you attend the conferences, you read the books. It could be on a course on Facebook advertising, but you never end up actually running any advertisement. You never turn on your campaigns. You never learn what assets are, or the ad actually creating creatives. So you're 10 out of 10 with your willingness to learn. Many people, their downloads folder is full of PDFs, full of free content, free books, everything. but they never apply it. They never really crack open that PDF. Not only that, just having a PDF in your downloads folder is not going to change your life. You got to be applying it consistently. My life wasn't going to change until I started to apply these detox protocols. First of all, I had to remain very teachable. I had to say to myself, there's so much information outside of the scope of awareness. I need to be picking up more books. I need to go to conferences. I need to be meeting these people in person. There was a time I was so aggressive. I even met some of these superstars. For example, Charlotte Gerson, the Gerson therapy, the daughter of Max Gerson. I met her in person. I was that aggressive about learning natural health. What are the books that she was recommending, on her journey? And not only was it important for me to learn it, how often am I applying these detox principles? There are 52 weeks in a year. I don't miss a week. Since 2019, every single week I'm doing something to better my health. I don't care if that's cleaning the small and large intestines. That could be eliminating internal parasites out of my body. And as you keep on this journey, more information is going to be unlocked. More upgrades going to be unlocked. Since 2023, I've been removing or flushing out gallstones out of the gallbladder and also intrahepatic stones out of the liver. Now, for a lot of y'all, you have no idea what I'm talking about because it's not on your radar screen. Once again, always go back to what is your willingness to learn? Give yourself a score between 0 to 10. And what is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score on 0 to 10. Until I start to apply these principles, not just knowing about it logically, or I can have very in-depth conversations about something. None of that stuff matters until you can say, I'm doing these protocols and I can see my life, my health trajectory continue to climb back up. Now, many of y'all, I don't know where you're at right now, right? And you can apply this in the areas of your health, in the areas of finances, in the areas of your relationships. In the areas of your relationships, most people are listening advice from all the wrong people. These guys and gals that are divorced, 4 or 5 times already, and you try to go to these people, find some marriage advice. Many people do that, okay? Teachability index. So number one, come back to who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Next lesson, teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? Give yourself a score. What is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score. Multiply these numbers, and that's how you can find your teachability index or your coachability index. Once again, getting the program very easy. Just tap on this very first link in my descriptions from here. You're just going to click buy now. Buy now. Put in the coupon code so you can get this program completely for free. But don't just have the CD set sit there in your downloads folder doing nothing. Right? Come back up in here. Fill out the contact, billing, payment information. Not going to charge you anything. Complete your order and look through your email. So before I go on, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Let me know what questions you may have regarding the first 2 lessons that I talked about. I know somebody's on this call. Appreciate you for being on this call. Yeah, I'm not surprised when people drop out of these calls because these are uncomfortable topics, right? Because it's not easy. It's not just, I'll make you feel good and your life is going to change. That doesn't work. That's why some people, they go for one video after the next, to the next, to the next, but their life still isn't changing. See, these YouTube creators, they're very good. They capture their attention. They use a lot of neuro-linguistic programming. They got you hooked, right? And they're going to tell you it's easy. They're going to tell you you just need 3 magic words. It's going to take a lot more than that. Next, we're going to talk about the training balance scale. Training balance scale. So think of a scale that tilts back and forth. On one side of the scale, it's about how you think and how you feel. What is your why? Your internal dreams, goals, and attitudes, your mental processes, your vibration, your internal motivation. On the other side of the scale are the how actions, the specific techniques, the strategies, the action steps, the plans, the activities of physical actions. In the world of personal development, you will find many people, they're always telling you the reason why you're not achieving your goal is because you don't know the how actions. You don't know the specific techniques. You don't know the strategies. You don't know the action steps, plans, and activities. Are we really missing the action steps? If you go to ChatGPT, ChatGPT is going to lay out whatever you want. If you go to YouTube, you type in a question, you're going to find a plethora of YouTube videos that are going to show you the how. Are we really missing the how actions? Or is there something deeper that is holding us back? Napoleon Hill, he wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich. He didn't write the book. You need to know all the action steps and grow rich. He told you to think and grow rich. Napoleon Hill told you so many things about the internal state. He told you about, hey, as a person think in his heart, so is he. Now, I've been listening to this training balance scale for quite some time, and a huge light bulb came up recently for me, and it has a lot to do with the subconscious mind. Who are you in the very deep parts of you, sitting there in your subconscious mind? I'm going to share with you a picture many of you are probably familiar with, right? So we're looking at the subconscious mind as an iceberg. This iceberg, the conscious thinking only commands 5%. This is the short-term memory, the logical thinking, your willpower, decisions, and analysis. The unconscious thinking, that's the part of your subconscious mind, are your true beliefs, your values, your identity, your creativity, your self-worth, imagination, your self-confidence. Your subconscious programming is always going to override your conscious thinking every single time. But everybody in the world of most people in the world of personal development, they always want to focus over here. They always say, you don't have enough action steps. You don't know the specific techniques. You don't have the right strategies. Why don't we understand more about your subconscious mind and how we can reprogram this? First of all, we got to reformat this guy. And that's what the training balance scale is all about. Let me tell you what, coming back to a personal example, all right? Me, John, when I was a teenager, I had six-pack abs because I was exercising all the time. I was skateboarding, I was playing basketball. It was easy for me to get a six-pack abs. In my self-image, down there in the subconscious mind, I had a six-pack abs. So it was very frustrating for me when I got into my 20s. And as you know, get into your 20s, it gets increasingly more difficult to achieve your six-pack abs. So when I look in the mirror, I don't see a six-pack abs. I was very frustrated with myself, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do this, trying to do that, still not achieving the results. Some people, they say they want a six-pack abs, but do they really have a six-pack abs in their subconscious mind? What's really going on underneath the surface in their unconscious thinking? Their true beliefs, their true values, their identity. Let me tell you what, you can call them the dark occult, you can call them the, parasitic elite, you can call them whatever you want. All I can say is they're programming something very sinister in the masses. How do they do it? They do it through TV shows. When you're watching different TV shows like this, here's Hank Hill, King of the Hill, right? You can see that he is just an average guy. He's very relatable. He's always drinking beer with his friends. And people watch this guy all day, every day. What else do we have? Maybe a little bit older like me. I used to see reruns of the show. It's called Cheers. And this guy's always there, at the bar drinking beer with his friends. And that is the subconscious programming they have in the masses. What else do we have? Of course, a lot of people watch Homer Simpson. If you're in the US, this thing is getting broadcasted every single night. And these are the TV shows people look forward to watching. And the next day they talk about it with their friends. This happened all the time when I was in high school. What else do we have? You have Al Bundy, Married with Children. Another average looking guy, average looking home, drinking beer, and every single day people know he's gonna have this type of jokes and they still watch him. What else do you have? Family Guy, whole bunch of average dudes all day, every day. And you're wondering why you can't say six-pack abs, because your unconscious thinking, that subconscious part of yourself, it doesn't have six-pack abs. It has Hank Hill, all right? It's got, this guy on Cheers, I forgot his name. It's got Homer Simpson. It's got Al Bundy, okay, and Family Guy. What is his name? Peter, whatever. If you know his name, what's going on, Shortbread Cookie? What's going on today? Let me know if you have any questions. Today we're diving deep into how you can change your life, right? And we need to learn about this training balance scale, because what Kevin teaches in your Wish is Your Command, it's about how you think and how you feel at a very, very deep level. It's not just, oh, I want to think very positive. I got to have a positive mental attitude for about 2 seconds. But I'm going to go back watching my TV shows, watching Hank, watching this dude on Cheers, watching Homer Simpson, watching Al Bundy, and watching the Family Guy. You see how they all have this beer belly. And if you watch this every single day, all day, every day, you're like, hey, it's okay for me to have a beer belly. I have a beer belly. I'm around other dudes that also have beer bellies. If you're around 4 other folks that just have this lifestyle, maybe they watch Family Guy together as entertainment after work, and you're trying to get six-pack abs, right? That's going to be hard. That's going to be extremely difficult. So over here, Kevin Trudeau, he teaches people, you need to learn about the intricacies of your body. You were engineered for success, but you're programmed for failure. You were engineered for success, but you're programmed for failure. How do we reprogram that part of ourselves? Right? I can't get all into intricate details. That's why you guys got to get this pre-programmed yourself. Use the link in my descriptions. It is about how you think and how you feel, your why, your dreams, goals, attitudes, mental processes, your vibration, your internal motivation. That is your subconscious mind, this one right here. If you can program this part, you have a much easier time with the how actions, because this is going to override, because it's an extension of who you are. Okay? If you have any questions throughout this presentation, just let me know. I'm going a little bit fast. What else can we talk about? Okay, so my friend Brad, he came out with a program very recently, and I talked about this yesterday. I want to talk about it again today, all right? So over here, maybe you got to learn how you can create a future version of yourself. This program will do it. I've been doing this for about a month now. And if you want to learn a little bit more about ChatGPT, how you can use ChatGPT, my coach Brad, I've known this guy since 2012. All right, he is very, very well known in the world of personal development. Anybody in internet marketing knows this guy. He's selling this course for only $10. How I turn my ideal future self into a personalized AI coach in just 60 minutes using 3 simple prompts. He's going to give you the prompts. If you know how to copy and paste, if you know how to follow through on directions, and if you know how to use ChatGPT just a little bit, Brad's going to guide you and develop this future version of yourself. As we talked about, what is real important is, who are you really in the unconscious thinking, in the subconscious mind? Your habits and beliefs, your identity and creativity, your self-worth, your self-confidence is all down there. What can you do to really reshape that? Can you have a coach that you communicate with on a daily basis? I communicate with this AI coach every single day. Every single day, I have questions, there's specific goals I want to go after. Well, I just ask this AI coach. But this AI coach isn't just like some dude out there. This AI coach speaks just like you, communicates just like you, because you've trained it that way. You see what I mean? That's how empowering this little tool is. I highly recommend you guys get this program. All right, it's gonna help you a lot. In addition to Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command, I'm just gonna pop this in. You guys can go check that out. Okay, I've been using it. Extremely powerful. If you want to reprogram your subconscious mind, this guy's not going to get it done. It's not going to take you to the promised land. Okay, watching Homer Simpson's not going to get it done. You need to really sit down with yourselves, like, my future self, that future version of myself, what is that person going to be like? Right? There was a time, it felt very hopeless. I was like, doesn't seem like I'm going to get back my six-pack abs, but I still had that image of me getting six-pack abs. This is me all year round, y'all. I don't weight loss rebound anymore. All these food cravings I used to have, they're completely gone. How did I do it? I had to continue to increase my teachability index. I had to listen to the right people. The person that I listened to in regards to this, Josh Mason. Josh Mason is on YouTube. You can look him up on Detox Dudes. Right now, he works to the top of the top of the top. But before, he was just uploading videos on YouTube. And I was like, this guy's making a lot of sense. He tried so many things himself, as I did, right? And nothing was working until he really learned about detoxification. So that's one guy you guys can look into. You can also look into my program. But I want to open up your mind and show y'all, listen, there's so much information beyond your scope of awareness, and that's perfectly okay. But you have to take action. You got to increase your willingness to learn, and you got to increase your willingness to accept change. It is a video game. It's kind of like role-playing games, right? You got to up yourself, up your character before the next lesson is going to be unlocked. And not just from a conscious standpoint, but a very deep cognition. Those deep cognitions are what are going to help you propel you to the next level. What are you trying to achieve? I also want to bring this up to your attention. If you don't know a lot about AI, if you don't know, if you want to learn the tools, everything's 80-20. There's going to be so many tools out there that's going to distract you. Brad's been working with this AI stuff for many years now, and he's really distilled it down to the tools that he uses on a consistent basis. If you want to take a month-long sabbatical, you want to reset yourself, you want to focus on what matters and transform your uncertainties into opportunities, I'm in this program right now. All right, I think it's extremely helpful, very useful for me. I've been going through it myself, and every single day I'm learning a little bit more. Not just that, it's not enough just to learn, I'm also applying a little more. Yeah, so that's Brad, so you guys can see he's up there on screen. I'm putting it in the chat, but I also have it in the comments later down, after the video is done. You also find it in the comments later. Next, we're going to talk about 4 steps to mastery, 4 steps to learning. Give me a little bit of a break here. Take some water. Are you learning something? What's going on? What are your questions? What thoughts, what can I help you with? Where are you at? Is this making sense? What can I clear up, for you? Be happy to help. Yeah. So here we have the 4 steps to learning. We all go through these stages. Let's just say if you're learning how to ride a bike for the first time, you're going from a place of unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. You have your family, loved ones trying to teach you how to ride that bicycle. Maybe you can't ride a bicycle. You got to put on training wheels or tricycles to start. But they're going to help you get your hands on the handles, right? And put your feet where the pedals are, and going to teach you step by step along the way. You don't know what you don't know. But over time, you're going to get a little bit better at this, and your mind's going to fire and wire in a certain way. It's like, oh, I'm picking up a new skill, right? And it begins to fire and wire. You're going to get a little bit better at this. But later on, you're going to be at a place of conscious incompetence. You know that you don't know something. You're watching some neighborhood kids. I've been on their bikes for a number of years now. They're very good at it. Some of them, they're popping wheelies. Some of them are riding their bicycles without their hands on the handles. You're like, what is going on? I'm just trying to do this tricycle thing. But there are many things that I don't know. Conscious incompetence. But later on, you're going to get better and better and better. Conscious competence is going to roll in. You know that you know something. Hey, if I do these specific steps, right? If I have to pedal just like this before I start, give myself a little bit of a push. When I first started, I think my bicycle was stolen. So most of the time I was practicing on my mother's bicycle. I was leaning the bicycle against the wall. That's my starting point. I still remember it. And I was kicking myself off the wall to get a bit of forward momentum. And I would get my foot on the pedal to get that bike going. But at least I know what I'm doing, right? And before you know it, you get really proficient at that. Your friend's going to call you, hey, we're going to ride our bicycles together. And you're going to jump on that bike and you're going to go do it. And there may be a whole entire season. Maybe you go off to college, you start working, all you do is drive your car. You don't even ride that bicycle for a long time. And you go on a family vacation and your family members are like, hey, there's a really cool trail. I want to go on that trail. Why don't we all get some bike rentals? In that moment, you're not going to freak out and be like, I don't know how to ride that bike. It's been so long. Right? What happened? That skill set of riding a bicycle, it is installed in your subconscious mind. You can install things in the subconscious mind. We're talking about this right here. Most people in the world of personal development, they think that by changing this, your conscious thinking, changing your behavior just a little bit, behavior modification, they think that it's going to change your life. That's why people, they always revert back. Unconscious thinking, subconscious mind, this is where the real work needs to take place. If you can change your subconscious mind, all your physical actions are going to align. Many people, that's why they struggle with weight loss rebound, because in their subconscious mind, who do they have? It's still this guy, it's Hank Hill. You know, they think Hank Hill is so funny where they watch Cheers, they watch Homer Simpson, they watch Al Bundy, and they watch Family Guy. Right? So in a spark of inspiration, they say, okay, I want to get six-pack abs in the summertime. So they try to do their best to get six-pack abs in the summertime. What do? Sign up for 24-hour fitness, okay, Planet Fitness, whatever they do. So 6-7 months of the year, they're in their gym. They're working out hard. You guys understand? They're working out hard. And they're going to get really great Instagram photos for the summer, because that's your goal. This is, I'm going to work hard in the summertime. So I will be ready for the summertime, getting those Instagram photos taken. But what happens once summer is over? When summer is over, fall kicks in, activity level goes down. What do you have in October? In October, you have Halloween, all that candy, not just on Halloween day. You know, people bring a whole bunch of stuff. People have been bringing a whole bunch of junk food to the office. Not only that, if you work at big tech, you already have a whole bunch of pops and sodas all for free on top of the cakes, on top of all this donuts be coming in. A couple weeks later, what do you have? You have Thanksgiving holidays kicking in. Not just one Thanksgiving dinner, all this food. Couple more weeks, what happens? You have Christmas, you have Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. You got a whole bunch of holidays. People be in. Right? So that's why people, they revert back. They don't have that blueprint in their subconscious mind of a six-pack person. That's why struggle is real. And a couple of days later after Christmas, what do you have? You have New Year's. And after a few more weeks after New Year's, what do you have? You have Valentine's. Everybody eating chocolates again. You see how we are in the cycle of defeat, right? Because you don't have the unconscious thinking. So you can't just try to control your life by just thinking, I got to force myself, I got to use my willpower. Your willpower is very limited, right? But your unconscious thinking, it is controlling everything else. So how do we do this? We got to drive this thing down into our subconscious mind. If you're learning something, you know, let me know in the comments. Show me some emojis. Let me know what your thoughts are. And this is what Kevin teaches. Kevin teaches your wish is your command. But your wish is not just this fleeting thought. I wish I could be this. I wish I could be that. right? How do you really command? Everybody's commanding. Everybody's commanding right now, whether you know it or not. You're commanding from your subconscious mind. If you're not getting the results that you want, you brought that in. Those are uncomfortable topics, okay? And the more you have that cognition, you're becoming more aware and say, hey, whatever results that I'm seeing right now, I don't care if it's results that I'm seeing in the mirror. I don't care if it's results that I'm seeing in the bank account or the state of my relationships. You have to come to grips is that you brought that into your existence. Now, if you don't like what you're seeing now, well, how do I change it? Instead of just learning techniques, more specific strategies or action steps, training balance scale, how you really think, how you really feel, your dreams, goals, and attitudes, mental processes, vibration, internal motivation. And that's what I'm excited about. I brought in these different things that you can learn. All I can say is, all right, so I started to use this program, right? So my good friend, he's a mentor of mine, Brad Costanzo, he has this course. He turned his future self into a personalized AI coach in just 60 minutes using 3 simple prompts. Once again, I'm going to put that in the chat. You guys can look into it yourself. It'll be very, very helpful for you. Once I started going on this process, right, new doors open, new techniques, modalities that taught me about how I can reshape the subconscious mind here, over here, right? Because you may have a lot of different inner blocks you don't know about. We all have inner blocks. And Brad's going to challenge you because he will send out emails about unforgiveness. When you are just sitting there by yourself, maybe you're just folding laundry, maybe you're sitting there in traffic, what is really cranking in the back of your mind? Is it disappointments of the past? Could it be arguments or something you saw on TV or headlines? Why aren't people seeing the ways that I see it? If I just push harder, maybe people will see it my way. That's really the content of your subconscious mind. That struggle underneath the surface. That's really driving you and your results. If you have that tape cranking the whole time, all day, every single day, you're not going to get to your destination until we can address those deeper things. Maybe there are certain patterns that we received from our ancestors that are no longer serving us. How do we uproot those bad behaviors and patterns? Or even programming. For example, there was a time in the past, they told me, hey, the reason why you're struggling with these chronic diseases or your family's struggling with them is because there's been a long line, right? Your grandparents had this, your fathers had this, and now you're going to get it. Many people have that thought process. There's no way you can really change your path to hypertension, high blood pressure, or you're going to have blood sugar problems, diabetes. Not only that, maybe you're going to be dealing with some kidney failure. You're going to end up with edema, like a lot of your ancestors. That is the programming they're always trying to tell people, how there's nothing that you can do. Like everything is hopeless. All you got is taking more medications. Isn't it time for you to evaluate all these principles that you may have installed in your subconscious mind about certain things? Because very gratefully, knock on wood, very, very humbly, I reversed all that and then some. You guys understand? And I'm very aggressive about learning more information that can better my health so I don't slide back to my former self. So it's a combination of changing my subconscious mind. It's about increasing my teachability index, my willingness to learn. I keep it at 10 out of 10, best as possible. Keep it at 10 out of 10 with my willingness to accept change. There was a time it was very uncomfortable for me to talk about certain things. Let me just share with you. So over here, these are powerful presentations that are done for hundreds and hundreds of people all around the world, right? I teach them about chronic constipation. Many people are struggling with chronic constipation. And that old poop is going to accumulate if you don't fix it. You got to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. You got to study human physiology. If you don't fix it, that poop is going to stay in your body. You're going to end up with a toxic megacolon. You may have to get different procedures done. This is a hemicolectomy, colostomy bags. anal anastomosis. Okay, people are starting to have displaced colons because chronic constipation, diverculitis, ulcerative colitis. These are all things that could happen to you, Crohn's disease, if you don't fix chronic constipation, because you're always huffing and puffing on the toilet. You're going to be dealing with rectal prolapse. You may be dealing with anal abscesses and fistulas. Proctologist is not going to fix your problem. All they're going to do is patch up your anal fissures. They're going to patch up some of your hemorrhoids. But if you're dealing with chronic constipation on top, you're not going to resolve to this at the root. So, guys, I know so much information regarding this and also different ways that can help to fix your own personal health. Also, all natural ways that you can really flush out the small and large intestines combined. How do you eliminate internal parasites? Right? Many people, they're struggling with internal parasites. They don't even know. All I'm saying is increase your ability to learn. Increase your teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to accept change? There was a time I read this book about how to flush out gallstones out of the gallbladder. If you give me a paper and a pen with no other instruments, I can draw this picture at a very, very high level of accuracy, and because I looked at this picture so many times. Me, very gratefully, I know how to get the gallstones out of my body. A lot of you may not believe that. I don't care. Every 2 weeks, I'm doing this protocol. I know exactly how this works. Okay, so how do you get your body back into shape? Especially a little bit older, if you're over 35, like me, right? You're over 35, over 40, like me. It's not going to just be, oh, I tracked some calories on FitnessPal. I went to the gym. I did my reps, I did my sets. Can you see what I've done? Nope, that's not going to get it done. Number one, we're going to learn more about your subconscious mind. What's really down there? If you don't fix that image, if you don't fix that, what you got down there is Hank Hill. What you got down there is guy on, Cheers. What you got down there is Homer Simpson. Got down there is Al Bundy. Got down there is Family Guy. Doesn't matter what else you do. You could be doing all the right things and still fail. Is this making sense for y'all? What's going on? What are your thoughts? What's cranking in the back of your mind right now? I want to hear from your, just be honest with me. Taking a short little break here. And some of you, I think there's one person on here, you've been on here a long time, and I appreciate for being on here. Yeah, let me know anything I can help to clear this up. Today we talked a lot about different things in a very short period of time. In a very short period of time, I covered Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. Of course, I'm only providing the broad strokes. You guys go get the CD set, because in the CD set, he has Q&A with people that actually showed up. Let me tell you, people had to spend $10,000 to get the CD set, to get this, to see him in person, to deliver this content. This right here. People had to fly into Switzerland in the mountains of Swiss Alps. Kevin Trudeau delivered this to a group of audience, and they recorded this call. Not only is the content, it's about not just information, but an interaction that he had at this conference. It was over 2 days, right? And they just went at it. 1 hour, 2 hours. It was, I'm sure for people that attended, it was extremely tough because it was only compacted in 2 days. So once more, that's the link right there. I want you guys to get this free CD set. It's completely free. And here's the problem. People don't really value free. Me, I don't know what is it about this. When I listened to it, it was something that I found. I mean, my brother sent it to me and I found it on YouTube. It's very hard to find on YouTube now. That's why you got to get this through their system. But when I started listening to this, it awakened something in me. I was like, this guy's making a lot of sense. He's piecing together the law of manifestation, right? And Going through this course, open up other books, other content that helps me, because when you're on this path, everyone's path is a little bit different. So, but as soon as you get to your result, right? I don't care. Get to your result in your way, in your personal health, in your money, finances, and in your relationships. Me coming on here, it was inspired for me to do these YouTube videos, because the more I practice explaining these videos, the more it fires and wires within myself. Just like riding a bicycle. If I start riding a bicycle and then I get disappointed at it and I don't ride on it again, right? I haven't developed the neurology for it. So if I just stop, if I just start and stop, if I just start and stop, right? Then, of course, I'm going to be afraid when the time comes and I'm on that family vacation and people are like, we're going to rentals. We're going to do bike rentals. You see what I mean? Same thing is going to be like for swimming. Same thing is going to be like driving stick shift. My brother taught me how to drive a stick shift, and it was out in Seattle. And when you go from a place of unconscious incompetence in Seattle, you better develop the competence real quick, because you're up on that hill and it's raining. Okay? So there are certain techniques. For example, you're going to have your emergency brake on, right? And you're going to have to work with your clutch and the accelerator to kind of get your car going in the right direction so you don't roll back. So when you can feel the car is going in the right direction, then you release the emergency brake so your car moves forward. You guys know what I'm talking about. But you have to go from a place of complete incompetence, unconscious incompetence, then you move your way up. Conscious incompetence, then you move your way up. Conscious competence, and move your way up. Unconscious competence. And that's where we're at, right? And you go through the same exact stages if you're trying to learn how to use chopsticks for the first time. Extremely frustrating. Same thing if you're trying to tie your shoelaces for the first time. What Kevin's trying to teach, he's trying to make success unconscious competent. But you gotta have the right framework. You gotta have the right installation of these lessons, not just at a conscious level, at a very deep level into your subconscious mind. Inside the subconscious mind, your habits and beliefs, your identity, your emotions, your imagination and self-confidence. Who do you listen to? Who do you listen to right now? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Second lesson, teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn on a scale of 0 to 10? And what is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score from 0 to 10. Multiplying these numbers together will provide you with the teachability index. Next, what is training balance scale? On one side of the scale, it's about how you think and how you feel, your why, your dreams, goals, and attitude, mental processes, your vibration, internal motivation. On the other side of the scale are the how actions, specific techniques, strategies, action steps, plans, activities, physical actions. Which one is more important? Pick up the CD set. Kevin will teach you exactly which one carries more weight. The word personal development will tell you, oh, you got to have more action steps. You got to buy another book. You got to have more specific techniques. Is that really the case? Are you really lacking that information? You really can't use the ChatGPT? ChatGPT will turn your questions into an entire book if you wanted to. Entire manual of activities and physical actions. Next, 4 steps to learning. All these lessons. It takes about 5 minutes to learn, a lifetime to master. And as you come back to these lessons, you're going to have new cognition. You're going to have new aha moments. And that's what I find extremely exciting, because when those aha moments come, you're like, wow, a deeper part of me understands those lessons even more. Not just from a conscious standpoint, but a very, very deep level. That's how you can really upgrade. You want to be upgrading your unconscious thinking, upgrading your subconscious mind. Once again, most people, what's in their subconscious mind? They got Hank Hill, guy from Cheers. They got Homer Simpson. Look at Al Bundy and got family. Look at how average and overweight, okay, and just they're funny. They're definitely very funny. Okay, they can help you pass time, but they're not going to help you reach your goals. And that's what the dark occult, the parasitic elite, they want to install into your subconscious mind. They want you to stumble through life. That's what they want. They don't want you to achieve anything. They want you to be average. They want you to be below average. They want you to be chronically sick. They don't want to have any cures that are out there. You guys understand? That's how the system is set up. The system is set up for you to fail. Because if you are failing with your health, if you're always having problems with your health, this, that, and the third, they're going to maximize lifetime customer value. You're going to go from one specialist to the next. You're going to roll from one pharmacist to the next. Not only with dealing with a physical problem, now I'm going to tell you, listen, maybe it's all in your head. You're going to be seeing a psychologist, psychotherapist for even more medications. That's what they want. They want you to keep you in that trap, right? Is that what you want for the rest of your life? So coming back to these lessons, who do you listen to? Teachability, index, training, balance, 4 steps. Any questions for me? Leave them in the comments. What's going on? What are your thoughts? Anyone here? I'll just put it on the radar screen. Listen, highly recommend y'all get this program, how to turn your future self into a personalized AI coach. All right, it's only $10. Brad is very, very generous. If you don't find this program to be useful in the next 30 days, you can always just get this refunded. All right. Not me. When you buy my program, I am not giving you no refunds. I don't care. When you get my program, the Mega Poop Transformation Challenge, listen, you on your own. This is not professional medical advice, not this is treatment. I used to give this program for free, and you know what people did with it? Whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing. And they're not consistent with it. So that's what I'm telling y'all. Invest in yourself. And right now, Kevin, I don't know how long it's going to be doing this, but this program is completely free. This program right here, your wish is your command. Get it for free. Get this program for free. I'm putting in the comments. I'm putting in the chat box right now. I got a couple of programs I want you guys to check out. And if you guys have any specific questions for me and what I discussed, we went through a lot of content in a very short period of time. And I do my best to explain this best of my abilities. You guys can also watch your replay later. I'm gonna do some minor edits, but it's gonna be on my channel. I go through all these lessons specifically. Who do you listen to? Teachability, index, training, balance, skill, 4 steps to learning. All these lessons may seem very insignificant. Takes about 5 minutes to learn, but a lifetime to master. But some of you, you're going to overlook these lessons because you're like, oh, I heard about this before. I don't need to listen to it again. Listen, Kevin Trudeau, he already made hundreds and hundreds of millions, which is 2 programs. So he's got the mega memory. Mega memory, I'm sure if you're a little bit older like me, you've seen this program somewhere on TV. Okay, so that's his first program. And then he did another program with Howard Berg. It's called Mega Speed Reading. Mega Speed Reading, right? That's another course that he did. So why should you listen to this guy? Because he already demonstrated success. Natural cures they don't want you to know about. This is the first book that I read from Kevin Trudeau. This was on the New York best-selling list for over 20 weeks. If you've done all that, you don't have to listen to the CD set. If you produce programs, if you made programs that produce over hundreds and hundreds of millions, and you have a bestseller over 20 weeks, don't listen to Kevin Trudeau. But if you haven't, maybe you need to listen to this. That's all I'm saying. So what's going on? What's on your mind? I know somebody's watching my YouTube right here. Let me know how I can help. Anything I can clear up, be happy to assist. I'm just going to drink some water. What's going on? Let me know. If you have any questions, the chat box is right there. Shortbread, are you still here? Somebody said hello earlier. Shortbread cookie. Any questions? Put them in the chat box. So once again, I'm just going to put in the different programs I want you guys to check out. Of course, the first one is Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. That's completely free. This program is definitely not free. Okay, I'm not giving it out for free. I'm not selling it at a lower price. No more of that. But Kevin Trudeau's stuff, you can get it for free. And Brad's program, this program, it's only $10 and you can get a refund if it's not right for you. So it's basically free. Okay, the future you, AI coach. So really think about, who do you want to become? How does that future version of yourself, how does this person speak? How does this future version of yourself respond to different situations, circumstances, setbacks? Okay. And really craft this future version. And then when you do that, and you can put it in that ChatGPT into an AI coach, you can communicate with this future version of yourself. Let me tell you something. If you really read through the sales page, he does something very extraordinary. You can actually work with a tool that's called 11 Labs. From 11 Labs, you can upgrade and upload your voice. Once you're uploading your voice and then you are instructing 11 Labs what your future goals are, what your goals are, you can actually talk to this future version of yourself. I've already done it. You know how people are creating these AI agents, different things like that? Well, for $10, Brad is going to teach you how to do it. And if you want a 30-day reset, if you want to learn more about AI, if you want to learn more about, I would say, mental frameworks, paradigms that made Brad extremely successful. Maybe you never heard about Brad before. Brad is very low-key. He's extremely, extremely successful. So I was surprised when he came out with a program like this. He doesn't have to do this program. He's doing it because he likes, when people give him great feedback. That's what it is. He loves it when people give him great feedback. When you get to a point where money doesn't matter, it's all about, hey, how do I feel good? I feel good when people give me great feedback about my contribution. This is a program I highly recommend. I've been using it for weeks and weeks now. I use this every single day. And from using this tool, I have an AI coach. So this is not just some esoteric coach. It's not just coaching that you get from Brian Tracy or Les Brown, nothing like that. This AI coach is a future version of yourself. Talks just like you, speaks just like you, sounds just like you. And Brad's not even going to stop there. He has this other tool where, oh, it's crazy. He can create a video version of yourself. You're going to talk, you can talk to yourself. You can talk to an AI version of yourself that is the future version of yourself. And this person's going to sound just like you. I know it sounds crazy. For $10. For $10, you get to learn how to do all that. That's absolutely insane. So I just put in the link. You guys can go check this out. Read through the sales page. And if it's not right for you, you can always just send them an email. He'll refund you. But honestly, this course should really be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And you don't need to be a coder. You don't need to be any technical person at all. If you know how to copy and paste, you're good. But you have to follow directions well, guys. A lot of people, you think you know how to follow directions. You don't. I know as a coach, I coach in health, right? And I've coached hundreds of people all around the world. I've translated this course in English and Chinese, in Arabic. People all over the world have tried my program and have great success. But some people, I don't know what it is. They'd be mixing things up randomly. They'll just be like, I don't care what John says. I'm going to do whatever I want. And when I ask them, well, did you produce the results that that this course outlined? Are you getting the results? Are you blasting out the waste material from your small and large intestines? And they're coming back and be like, oh, nothing happened. I'm like, what did you do? Do you have measuring cups? They're not even using measuring cups. I told them to mix his ratios up in a very specific proportions. Proportions are important. It's almost like if you go to the grocery store and you're like, I'm going to bake a cake, right? And you're like, oh, I'm not going to measure anything. I don't care. I'm going to mix anything up that I want when I feel like it. Do whatever I want. Well, you're not going to get a cake. Same thing with this. If you want that transformation challenge, lose 3 to 5 pounds per month without going to the gym, of course, this is not professional medical advice time. This is your treatment. If you're chronically constipated 6-7 days in a row, listen, you need to have professional help. You need to go to a colon hydrotherapy, a colonic, something. Go talk to your naturopathic doctor. You got to fix that problem early. Let's understand. All I'm just saying is, many people think they're very teachable and coachable. They're not. A coachable person actually follows through on the directions to a T. When Brad, if you buy this course, the only way you're going to get the most out of this course is if you follow his directions to a T. When he tells you to copy and paste things, don't be changing things up. Okay? And do it in the specific order. And some of you like to skip ahead. That's the problem with a lot of people. They're like, well, this is something that I know already, I'm going to skip ahead. Well, you're going to miss something along the way. And you're not going to get the results. Right? So what can I help you with? Do you have any questions for me regarding Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command? You can ask me a little bit about my course, right? The Mega Poo Transformation Challenge. Or you have questions about the subconscious mind, we can talk about that. Next, we can talk about Brad's The Future You AI Coach. Or you want to talk about his 30-day reset. I'm in this course right now. It's powerful, extremely powerful. And let me see what his price that he's setting it at. I don't know if maybe you guys are doing a different price than I did. Yeah. Well, You guys gonna have to find that yourself. I'm not gonna punch in all my information there. So talk to me, what questions you may have regarding this program, okay? Feeling good. As you know, this is a very, very new channel. I'm doing everything that I can to get it up in gear, right? Get this content up. Just a couple days ago, I was less than 100 subscribers. Now we're moving things up in the right direction. Does it take consistency? Of course it does. But more importantly, I think I tap into something very mysterious. It has a lot more to do with my subconscious programming, okay? The way how I project, the way how I expect, not just from a conscious standpoint, but at a very, very deep level. I have been doing so much meditation every single day. Every single day I'm doing meditation. I'm really learning how I can shift this unconscious thinking. But it's not enough just to do meditations, right? I still got to show up. I still got to show up and do my YouTube, right? A lot of people, they think that things are just going to appear in their life. And you find these YouTubers, they're very good at just telling you feel good. You got to do another journal, buy yourself some crystals, do another astrological chart, get another reading. I'm not saying those are bad things. I'm just saying when you do those things, you should have a better understanding of yourself. And now you have that better understanding, you got to take action. But I'm seeing things differently as well. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of things that I can do if I just reshape my subconscious program, if I just reshape that unconscious mind. Good things are happening, y'all. Good things are happening. So I know people are showing up on this call. What questions do you have? Okay. We already went through a lot of content, but I can go through anything specific you want me to talk about. Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. You guys going to get the link in my descriptions right here. Am I still alive? Okay, I'm still alive. Yeah. So you can use the link in my descriptions. Get this program for free. Only if you have the coupon code. Tap buy now, type in the coupon code YWIYC, hit apply, and you want to come back, fill out your contact, bill, and payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. Tap complete your order. Then you're going to check your email. If it's not in your email, look in your spam folder. If it's there, just drag it back into your inbox. Then you're going to tap the link in the inbox. It will take you to the program. Your Wish is Your Command. The 14 audio series, Your Wish is Your Command. Today, I went through the specific lessons that were discussed in the CD set. I'm just providing the broad strokes. You guys got to listen, tune in to the CD set multiple times so you can really get the most out of it. I still listen to the same CD set every single year. I've been listening to it for a number of years now. I've gone on, I'm part of the GIN network, the Global Information Network. So there's so much more that you don't know. Just like what I shared with you all before, right? Before, I only knew about calorie counting and then going to the gym, doing more reps, doing more sets. Was I getting the result? I was not getting the result. I'm getting the result now. Not only that, I'm keeping the results permanently, right? Because I'm aggressively learning, I'm aggressively applying. I have a new blueprint within myself. It's not enough just to know. I have to do, right? Some people says, well, I want to do YouTube. Well, they're never uploading anything. They're not going to change their YouTube status. And I have practically a brand new YouTube account. And this is to keep myself accountable. Right? And I want to go on as often as I can, going live, explaining these concepts so I can deepen these understanding, not just at a conscious standpoint, but a subconscious mind in this Because this is the part where we got to change. Not this top part. The top part, the short-term memory, logical thinking, my willpower, this is very, very limited. But if I drive it deep into my subconscious thinking, my habits, how do I think habitually? How do I think and how do I feel on the inside? If you don't know, you want to just monitor yourself when you're folding laundry, when you're just stuck in traffic in their car, okay? When you're in the quiet moments within yourself. What do you really think about? That's what's really cranking behind the scenes. Are they taking away energy, or are they really supplying you with power and motivation, different things like that? If it's not, you got to change the tape. You got to change your environment. You got to do a lot of different things to really drive that thing deep into the subconscious mind. Part of what I'm doing now is definitely beneficial for me because I'm driving these lessons deep into my subconscious mind. You become what you think about most of the time. How you think and how you feel. Napoleon Hill, he wrote Think and Grow Rich. He didn't write know all the action steps and grow rich. He didn't say suffering is spiritual and grow rich. But most people, you've been installed with the wrong image. As I have in the past. Before, I used to watch a lot of these TV shows. I thought it was funny to watch Hank Hill, right? There was church reruns when I was growing up. What else do we have? Homer Simpson. Everybody watched Homer Simpson when I was growing up in high school. Not only that, they talked about it while they were in school. Of course, after Homer Simpson, you probably had Married with Children with Al Bundy coming up. And after that, you're probably watching Family, what is this, Family Guy? And you can see how they are making the male model completely pathetic, right? It's always this average looking guy. He has a beer belly. He likes drinking beer. The only thing he looks forward to, going back home, popping beer. And you wonder why you have that behavior as well. You wonder why. That's in your subconscious mind. That's in here. The unconscious thinking, your true habits, your true beliefs, your identity. You identify with these characters that you see on TV. You identify with their emotions, their imagination. You identify with their self-confidence. So you never really see yourself beyond, right? Because you become what you think about most of the time. And what do most people think about? They think about their TV shows. And they're very, very drowsy. Some of them could be very tired and drowsy when they're watching these TV shows, drifting in and out of sleep. Well, they're programming that thing in their subconscious mind. And that's what the dark occult wants. That's what the parasitic elite wants. Because they want you to be in that vegetative state where you don't think. You're just responding because they program a loser inside of you. You're engineered for sex. You're engineered for success. But you've been programmed for failure. You've been engineered for success. You're programmed for failure. So what is the software running in the back of your mind? Do you want to change that? Well, you can change that doing a couple of things. I'm not just giving a whole bunch of, I would say, problems. You have solutions. First of all, if you go to my descriptions, first program, okay? Go here. Get your wish is your command, get the program. That's the first program. What else can you get? You can get this program here. Get yourself an AI coach that speaks just like you. How do you turn your future self into your own personalized AI coach? Do that. If you need a 30-page reset, I'm doing this now, so I know I need it. I'm not going to tell you a whole bunch of things I don't already do myself. And what else do I do? Get this program too, the Mega Poop Transformation Challenge. If you know you're that kind of person, you got a little bit of chronic constipation, you need to clear out that waste material sitting inside of you, get this program. I teach people all over the world how to clean out the small and large intestines. Many men, they have that bulging belly, right? Why? Their colon is encrusted with fecal matter. And when that fecal matter compounds, boy, you're in trouble. Your old poop is accumulating. Residues of old feces, they're building up in layers on the walls of the colon. As they putrefy, what is putrefy? Decay and rot. They can cause health problems, pain, and discomfort. Let me tell you what else they cause. They cause bad breath. They cause the worst smelling farts ever. Why? All that waste material is trying to exude or ooze through your body. Because your digestive system is very simple. It's a long piece of pipework, right? This is an animated version of your digestive system, but everybody's the same. Everybody's the same. If you have a whole bunch of poop here that is not exiting out of the body, of course, when you fart, it's just going to hiss. It's going to go, and then people are going to be looking, who did that? Who did that? Or you're just going to have bad breath. I don't care if you're popping mints. I don't care if you're chewing gum. It's still going to smell bad. And all your clothes are still going to smell bad. Why? You're dealing with unresolved chronic constipation. This is the colon, right? You have waste material sitting inside of here. And you wonder why you have nasty smelling farts. All your clothes still smell bad after you wash them. Your girlfriend's been telling you this, that, and the third. You don't believe her. So you try to suppress all these nasty smells with all body deodorants or cologne. Why do you learn how to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right? Do that. And I'm not giving no refunds either. Listen, if you buy my program, I'm not refunding nothing. So get the free programs. I got a couple free programs for y'all. First one is in the descriptions. Get Calvin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. Then you can work with Brad's program. This is $10. But if you don't like it, Brad is so generous, he's going to give you a 30-day trial. Right? Same thing over here. Even this program, the 30-day reset, he has money back 100% guarantee. That's incredible. So it's basically free. Right? But don't ask me for a refund if you buy my program. Don't ask me for a refund. I won't give it. I'm tired of doing it. If this is what you want, if you want to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, get my program. And a lot of y'all, because I priced it at such a lower price before, people weren't doing it. So I'm like, I gotta charge more so it's actually on your radar screen, so you actually do it. That's it. And don't be surprised if I raise the price more in the future. So what's going on? I know one or two of y'all have been on my call for quite some time. What can I help you with? What are your thoughts? How can I assist? How can I clarify any concepts, ideas on this call? Oy. That I was inspired. I was like, maybe one of these days I'm going to do like a 12-hour live stream. Just really push the limits. See if I can do it. So I think this is doable because there's just so much information I can put on there. I mean, depends on what the audience wants. Because we can really learn about digestive health. You can learn about parasites. You can learn about liver health. How to really get the congestion out of the body. The way how I think about it now is it doesn't really, you got to deal with the waste material first. When you're dealing with health problems, okay, where can you get the colon cleanse? All right. Thanks for that question. So I'm going to put it in the comments here. Thanks, Matthew, for that question. Yeah, so that's the link. I'll put it in the comments later as well. And if you see this page, it has to look like this. All right. So at the very top, you'll see me. This is the before and after. And that's me. This is me. Okay. And I'd be happy to help you. If you buy this program, I will do some extra coaching right now with you on this call. Okay, you just pop questions in here. And because I know a lot of people have this. How do I know? I know a little bit about keyword analysis, which is simply when people are going on Google, when people are going on Bing, Yahoo, what are people typing in? Well, chronic constipation or different permutations of constipation is undefeated. It's only growing year over year. The interest for this keyword over time is growing year over year. So I know this is an unstoppable market. You guys understand? And people are taking the laxatives, people are doing this, that, and the third, still not working. Well, that's the state of modern medicine. We think that we're so brilliant. We think that we can fix. We can't even fix chronic constipation in 2025. That's how pathetic we are. And this is me many years ago, right? Huffing and puffing on the toilet. Nothing. I got a whole bunch of sheep pellets coming out of the end of my... It was horrible. So I teach people how they can avert problems like this. If they want to avert toxic megacolon, if they don't want... And listen, if you've already got a colostomy bag installed, this is not for you. This is for people who are 1 to 2 days, 3 days chronically constipated. And some people don't think that's a big deal. They think that I'm only chronically constipated 1 to 2 days. No. If you're eating 2 to 3 meals per day, you should be going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times per day. It's called garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. Food enters your mouth down the esophagus into your stomach. Digestive enzymes breaking down the food, and over time, food's going to enter your small intestines for nutrient absorption. The small intestines is 4.5 meters, roughly 15 feet. Followed by the large intestines over here. This is the ascending portion, transverse descending portion of the colon, and out the back for elimination. The small intestines has a surface area of a football field. You got to clean this whole thing out. Another way you can look at your digestive system is this a very long piece of pipework. Food enters your mouth down the esophagus into your stomach. Over here, that's the pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter works like a valve. If it feels safe, then food's going to enter your small intestines for nutrient absorption, digestion, and eventually it's going to enter your large intestines for feces formation. Over here, ascending, descending portion of the colon, out the back for elimination. What goes in through your mouth must exit out the back as waste elimination. When that is not happening, this is what happens. People are so severely chronically constipated, sometimes doctors have to remove the whole colon. But they have so many other procedures depending on where the colon is messed up. They have different procedures. This is hemicolectomy. You have ileoanal anastomosis. So over here, they remove the colon completely and they reattach it using the small intestines to attach it to your anus. You wore a colostomy bag. So Matthew, so you wore a colostomy bag once, the worst time in my life. So what are you doing now? So you no longer have a colostomy bag? This is somehow patched up? Did they remove the descending portion of your colon? Tell me what's going on, because I don't think you can do my program if you don't have your whole large intestine attached. So talk to me. What's your situation? Yeah, for those of y'all on this call right now, I'm just talking to Matthew. We're talking about digestive health. And you guys can look in the comments. I'm going back and forth with him and just providing some insights, or maybe something that's currently off the radar screen that he must look into. Because right off the top of my mind, I don't know if any of y'all done any parasite cleanses. The colon was blocked, okay? But is it so right now? How often are your bowel movements? Can you still have consistent bowel movements on the daily? What's going on with that? So I hope they didn't remove this portion, or hope they didn't take anything out. You know what I'm saying? Because that is the worst, y'all. That is the worst. See, I struggled with chronic constipation for so many years, and I just push it off, and I said to myself, I'm just going to take some more laxatives. Well, the laxatives stopped working. I'm not the only person out there struggling with this. As I said before, chronic constipation is undefeated. Okay, this is a market nobody has really fixed. There are entire Facebook pages on this. Entire Facebook page. And people are just asking all these questions. People are dealing with fecal and vomiting. Okay, whole bunch of anonymous members all day, every day on these Facebook pages. They have no answer. Look at this. I'm impacted. All home remedies, OTC laxatives, enemas, dietary changes, nutritional oils quit working last month. All of a sudden, the ER can reach it, and their enemas didn't work. The highest doses of lenses does nothing. Marilax colonoscopy prep giving me overflow diarrhea. Small bits are coming off the impaction. Probably from the hospital. Enemas, I got Saturdays. What else can I do? I feel like the impaction is just way too big to get out, and it seems like nothing is softening enough. I have a bowel movement usually short time after I eat. That's perfect. That's perfect. Now let's improve from there. I think you are in a position to actually use my program. Okay. Now I'm going to explain to you how to get it done. And if you want, you can support me, get in the program. But this is what we're going to do. Okay. So I went to get these ingredients at the grocery store. Okay. This is apple cider vinegar. You're going to get limes, lemons, or grapefruit. Limes, lemons, or grapefruit. You're going to get pink salt. You can also use Vera salt, VERA. That is free of microplastics. If you're worried about the sodium content, you can also use Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate. So this call is recorded, so don't worry. I'm just sharing with you what you can get at the grocery store. This is black coffee prepared separately. You also want to get yourself a stainless steel thermos. This is going to hold, I would say, 1 liter in volume. Black coffee prepared separately, also in a stainless steel cup. You're going to start to mix everything in the stainless steel container. Okay, so apple cider vinegar. Choose between limes, lemons, or grapefruit. Highly recommend using grapefruit. It's going to taste amazing. Over here, you're going to use pink salt, Vera salt, or Epsom salt. Black coffee prepared separately. This is what you're going to do. The night before, you want to finish dinner around 7:30 p.m. You do not want to eat any late night snacks. Don't have any late nights. You can still have water. You can have some liquids, no problem. Next morning when you wake up, same thing. Don't eat any breakfast. You can still have some liquids, just a little bit. At 11 a.m. on an empty stomach, make this in the stainless steel thermos. You're going to add 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of pink salt or food grade Epsom salt in the stainless steel thermos. You're putting everything in here. So follow through on these directions carefully, because a lot of people don't do it and then mess things up. Where they find some other YouTube online, they don't deliver any results. I know what I'm doing. I coach hundreds and hundreds of people around the world because I spend so much time on these ratios. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a gal, it works. Next, you're going to cut and squeeze 3 lemons or limes or 1 grapefruit. You're extracting the juices only, no pulp. So you're going to squeeze it and you're going to use a metal mesh strainer. Make sure everything goes in the stainless steel thermos. You're going to add a 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar, a 60 ml. Then you're going to add 2.5 cups of hot water. 30 to 45 seconds, stir, stir, stir. You want to stir very thoroughly in the stainless steel thermos. You're mixing everything in, okay? Then you're going to add another cup of room temperature water. You can also use hot water as well. I'm just saying, when it's summertime, it's really hot. You want that cool that thing down slightly, but you don't want the solution to be completely cool. It's got to be warmer than warm. It might be a little bit too hot when you first begin. Don't worry, just let it cool a little bit, but you don't want that thing to sit cool. The sulfurless solution right here that we mix together is about 1 liter in volume. Okay, on your table, after you mix everything, there are only 3 things: bottled water, stainless steel thermos with the sulfurless solution, and the black coffee. This is how you're going to drink it. Very, very specific technique. You're going to take a small sip of this water, hold it in your mouth, and then you're going to take a small gulp of the sulfurless solution and drink it down. Okay? Then you're going to take a tiny sip of this black coffee to reward yourself with a familiar taste. Coffee is actually optional. If you don't drink coffee, that's perfectly fine. If you don't like the taste of the sulfurless solution, you got to get yourself a stainless steel straw so you can put this thing down, because it's not going to be pleasant when you first start doing this. You're like, what the hell is this? Doesn't taste good, but so take a tiny sip of this water, hold it in your mouth. Then you're going to begin taking a small sip of the sulfurless solution, drinking it down, and you're going to reward yourself with black coffee, tiny sip. You're not drinking this black coffee. You're going to repeat these steps 1 through 3. Sip with a bottle of water, hold it in your mouth. Take a big gulp of the sulfurless solution, drinking it down. Then you're going to sip on black coffee, optional, repeating steps 1 through 3. Important, your goal is to finish the sulfurless solution first. Your goal is to finish the sulfurless solution first. You're not trying to put down both the water and the sulfurless solution at the same time. No. There's a certain viscosity that I need the sulfurless solution to be in. I do not want it to be diluted. The real magic is in the sulfurless solution. You want it to have it go inside your body. You want to practice some deep diaphragmatic breathing. Maybe listen to some Rachmaninoff, some Piano Concerto 2, Movement 2. And you're going to relax, because this sulfurless solution, once again, on an empty stomach, right? It's going to enter your stomach. You got to be relaxed. Once it relaxes, the sulfurless solution is going to get into your small intestines first. It's going to first begin cleaning out, removing the waste material from the small intestines. And that waste material is going to slowly work its way through this 4.5 meters, that 15 feet, and push that waste material into your large intestines. And everybody's a little bit different. Before you know it, you're going to have that bowel movement coming on, okay? What's going to happen is solids are first going to come out as normal. But over time, if you practice deep breathing, and it may take you 45 minutes to drink this down, take you an hour and a half, doesn't matter. Pace yourself. If you ever have that throw up feel that you're about to throw up, don't do anything. Put down everything, relax. Deep diaphragmatic breathing until those feelings subside. Once you finish sulfurless solution, eventually you're going to have that unction to use the bathroom. Solids are going to first come out, and over time, you're going to realize, oh, things are becoming softer. Softer and softer, softer and softer. Then it's gonna get really, really soft. Okay. When it's just coming out brown, torn, black water, okay, I want you to take this bottled water with you to the bathroom, and I want you to drink that bottled water, which is going to produce this diarrhea tsunami. I know a lot of people don't believe me. I really don't care. I've already coached hundreds of people around this. And how you use the bathroom, the reason why you want to use all these items, plastic bottle, okay, maybe you have another bottled water, don't use anything that can break. Don't use glass, don't use ceramic, nothing. Because you're going to be knocking things over going to the bathroom. Because you're going to have this uncontrollable bowel movement. You're going to be blasting things out. This is not hyperbole. The smell of this is absolutely horrendous. Because think about all the waste material that's been trapped inside your small intestine that nobody resolved, right? And while you're here, just prepare, maybe get yourself a little bit of a stool, as long as sturdy. Human beings we are designed to use the bathroom in a squatting position, not at this 90 degree. This 90 degree is what's causing the colitis, a whole bunch of digestive problems, because people are not pooping properly. So a lot of inflammation that's taking place at the tail end. So this is how you're going to blast out the waste material from small and large intestines. And you want to prepare coconut water, get electrolytes, get some watermelon juice. You got to replenish back up. And you want to get some probiotics, recoat back up your small and large intestines after this. Okay, am I making sense here? Matthew, still here? Where are you from? Yeah, this is only for Matthew, because later on when I upload this video, this whole section will not be here. I will not include this in my today's upload. Just let me know if this is making sense, right? And after you do that, you want to be eating healthy. But later on, you got to get good at this protocol. This protocol is so basic. This is a basic protocol. But later on, you want to learn about how you can eliminate internal parasites. Many people have internal parasites. They don't even know. You want to be studying these guys out, right? A lot of people don't believe me. I'm like, listen, you don't have to believe me. Go to your local library. There are entire volumes of books on this topic. You can go to the Library of Congress. You can go to archive.org. A lot of free books on parasitology. And you want to study both, not just human parasites, but also parasites that could be in your pets. Veterinary parasitology, there are entire volumes of books on that too. And people don't know that they are getting messed up by these guys. So Matthew, what's going on? Oh, thanks for now. We're in Puerto Rico. Making sense for sure. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you. I also cover parasitology in my program. Yeah, so when you're in Puerto Rico, you really have to purify your water. You know, how good is your purification system now? Because some people, they're ending up situation like this, right? And then they are doing all these things. Some people, they are dealing with parasites. They don't even know. And the doctors just give them more pills. And after a couple of months, maybe you want to do even more things. You know, I didn't even stop there. I learned how to get these cysts out of the liver. I learned how to get the gallstones out of the gallbladder. Everything's interconnected. This common bile duct is so important. You need to learn this picture. I don't know if you learned this picture already, but everything's interconnected. When people have a lot of congestion inside the gallbladder, this common bile duct is going to get backed up. So fluid retention is going to take place, inflammation in the liver. So when they run any type of liver tests, people are saying, oh, you have the beginning signs of liver failure, right? And they just go through these different stages. They're going to tell you, oh, you have a non-alcoholic fatty liver. Later on, it gets worse. It's liver fibrosis. Later on, it's going to be liver cirrhosis. Now they're going to say it's cancer. Now they're gonna tell you to go chemo, radiation, that blah 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 blah, all that fucking bullshit. Listen, y'all. There are so many things that we need to be learning, but learning isn't enough. You need to apply, right? So I don't know who's on this call. Yeah, Matthew, you have any questions for me? What's going on? So I just want to share that with you. You know, you're more than welcome to support my program if you like. Yeah, later on. For folks, yeah, this part of the training will not be on the call. For your free offer, the free offer is your wish is your command. And then I want you guys to either evaluate, this is basically free, okay? The future you, and even this guy, you can evaluate these programs for free, and Brad will refund you. I know this guy. Brad Costanzo. Bacon wrap business, Brad Costanzo. Listen, guys. So he's been running this podcast for years, right? And I don't think you guys know how well connected he is. If you don't know how well connected, just go through his podcast. There are 25 pages of this. Okay? He works with the best of the best. So if you're in personal development, if you're in internet marketing, you probably know about this guy. He's interviewed everybody. And he's the go-to guy when it comes to people are struggling with growth, you know, people are having problems in their business. Guess who they call? They call Brad. Yeah, no problem, Matthew, you know. How do you like living in Puerto Rico? Everything good out there? I know a guy that recently moved out there. His name is Aristotle. Aristotle Investments. He's a really good guy, young guy. Yeah, he's doing really well with his business. He has a trading business. And then he didn't want to pay taxes on capital gains, right? I don't know why you moved out there in Puerto Rico. Maybe you're doing real business, you know, doing big business yourself. You know, you don't want to be paying no capital gains. That's awesome. Yeah, I also live on an island. I live in Taiwan. So I know a little bit about island life. As you guys can see, you know, I have a very new YouTube channel as well, you know, and you can see nothing's really happened for months and months until very recently, you know, because I made so much changes to my inner person. What did I make changes? I started making changes to this guy. Okay. The content, I haven't really changed my content that much. If you go to my previous videos, I don't think I made that much shift, that much. I mean, I'm still explaining the same thing. But what's shifted, I think, it's the subconscious mind. And I'm very excited. So I'm going to continue on this path, you know? So let me see. Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I couldn't stand cold weather. I used to live in Seattle. I lived in Pennsylvania before in the past. You know, I could not stand the cold weather anymore. I was like, I'm done. Oh yeah, yeah. Warm weather, that's where I'm at too. But yeah, one thing at a time, you know, so you have a good grasp on what's going on and continue on. You know, I recommend people once they have that knowledge, not just knowledge, they have the experiential knowledge, cleaning out the small and large intestines regularly for like 2 months on a weekly basis. Then they move on to parasite cleanse because I don't recommend people to do parasite cleanse until they can master the first one first. Because some people, they jump into this, right? They're like, I'm going to eliminate parasites. So they go take all these herbs or they take these different medications. Well, guess what? If they're still dealing with chronic constipation, they're going to have a whole bunch of dead parasites putrefying inside of them. And they're wondering why their health is getting worse. You have to fix problems there's an order of operations in this. It's like a mathematics teacher can't teach you operators without teaching you numbers first. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they can't get those things down, don't teach them about addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. There is an order to this madness. And that's why I don't recommend people jumping into liver cleanse or gallbladder cleanse, right? It doesn't make any sense because let's just say if they start to release gallstones, they're going to end up in the small intestines. And you have no way to flush them out if you're chronically constipated. So they're stuck all the way up here. And they're going to make you extremely nauseous. How do I know? I've experienced them myself. I've made all the mistakes, y'all. So you guys can avoid them. That's the benefit of working with people that are slightly ahead. Yeah. So any questions you have, Matthew, or anybody else before I close this thing down? And all this training regarding digestive health will not be there. People got to pay for it. I'm tired of giving this thing out for free. It's just not it's not good. So for those of y'all, Matthew got some good free training out of this. For those of y'all, you weren't here earlier, listen, get the program, because if you don't pay for it, it's not on your radar. It's just like, this is another thing on my downloads folder. People don't give a crap about free. You know what I mean, Matthew? So we went through a lot of content today. Thank you for jumping on. It's definitely a lot more fun when there are people actually on here I can talk to, kind of bounce ideas off of. And just letting you guys know, hey, I'm another regular guy. I love to learn, love to apply, love to better my health, improve my finances, improve my wealth, just like all of y'all, right? Improve my relationships, connecting with people. And it's a wonderful journey. It really is. I'm truly blessed. Very grateful. I'm truly grateful. I'm very, very grateful. Very blessed. Extremely blessed. Extremely, extremely blessed. So I want to thank y'all. Have an amazing there you go. When they pay attention. I love that quote, Matthew. You know what's going on. You know what's up. So have an amazing rest of your week. I'll be doing more of these live broadcasts when I can. Give me a follow. Yeah, give me a follow so you guys know when I'm on. Hit that notification bell. So maybe it doesn't always come up, when I go live. But yeah, I love to connect with y'all and hear your progress. I love to hear your progress. Doesn't matter if you got Kevin Trudeau's program, or you do Brad's programs, or you do my program. Until you start actually applying them, then you're going to be motivated. Wow, there's more that is out there. I want to apply more. I want to better my life. Amazing. So have an amazing rest of your week.